Hello, I'm Cornelia Alvarez, and I work as a staff attorney at Legal Aid of Northwest Texas. And I'm here remotely with Stuart Campbell, an attorney in our Fort Worth office. Stuart handles many types of cases, including landlord-tenant cases. I wanted to ask him some questions about the CARES Act and get some answers on the tenant protections during the COVID-19 pandemic. The following is legal information and not legal advice. Hi, Stuart. Thank you for joining us. How does the CARES Act protect tenants during this pandemic?
Hey, well, part of the CARES Act is what's called a moratorium or suspension on evictions. This presses the pause button on some types of evictions for many tenants.
Okay, and what kind of tenants does the CARES Act help?
The CARES Act eviction moratorium applies to tenants who live in specific types of properties mentioned in that law. These include properties that participate in housing programs like public housing or project-based Section 8 housing, and properties that receive low-income housing tax credits. The CARES Act also applies to properties that have federally backed mortgages, like through Fannie Mae or Freddie Mac. These are considered what's called public or covered properties under that law.
Okay. And how can I find out if I live on a property covered by the CARES Act?
Well, that part can be tricky. It's difficult to find out if your rental property is a covered property. One way is to search for your property in the National Low Income Housing Coalition's database. However, even that database is not complete. Another way to find out, and the best way to find out, is to contact your landlord.
Okay. And what does the CARES Act do for tenants that are renting a covered property, like the ones you mentioned, and how long does it last?
The CARES Act protects these tenants from evictions based on non-payment of rent or non-payment of rent of other charges from March 27th until July 25th, 2020. If you're a tenant in a property covered by the CARES Act, and your landlord cannot even file a lawsuit asking you to be evicted until July 25th. You can also not be charged late fees during this time, although you still can be charged for rent.
And what if my landlord files an eviction lawsuit against me? How will the court know if my property is protected by the CARES Act?
The Texas Supreme Court issued an order requiring all landlords who file eviction lawsuits between March 27th and July 25th to swear that the rental property is not covered by the CARES Act. If your landlord has filed an eviction lawsuit against you, you can ask the court to make your landlord answer questions and give you information about your property so you can find out if it is covered by the CARES Act. This question and answer process in a trial is called discovery.
Okay. And if I live at a covered property, do I still have to pay rent?
Yes, the CARES forgive any rental payments. It only temporarily suspends evictions. If you're able to pay rent, you should continue to still pay rent.
And what happens if I cannot pay rent? What should I do?
First things first is to speak to your landlord. Perhaps your rent is not due until the first of the month, but you can't pay it until a later date because you're waiting on unemployment benefits or some other benefit. You should explain that situation to your landlord and make sure to get any rental agreement in writing to protect yourself. So get a rental payment agreement in writing. Also, if you're struggling to pay rent, seek out rental assistance in your area.
Okay. And if I live on a covered property, can my landlord give out notices to vacate or charge me any late fees during the moratorium?
No. Landlords of covered properties cannot charge late fees until July 25th. Also, landlords of covered properties cannot give out notices to vacate for non-payment of rent. However, even on covered properties, they can issue notices to vacate for other types of lease violations.
Okay, and what happens once the moratorium ends and I have not paid the rent during this time?
After July 25th, your landlord will be able to issue a notice to vacate and proceed through the normal legal eviction process. However, the CARES Act says that under covered properties, your landlord will have to give you at least a 30-day notice to vacate before filing any lawsuit.
Okay. Well, thank you so much for joining me today, Stuart. If you have any more questions or if you need legal assistance, you can apply for help at your local legal aid office. Legal Aid of Northwest Texas provides free legal help in areas like housing, consumer law, employment, public benefits, and family law to low-income individuals and families in North and West Texas. If you live in North or West Texas, you can apply for help with Legal Aid of Northwest Texas, and eligible applicants can speak to an attorney. You can apply by calling 888-529-5277 or landlord tenant issues or most other types of civil legal issues, you can also apply for help on our website at www.lanwt.org. Thank you so much, Stuart.
Thank you.